Hi, I'm Jeff Garofalo, and this is my childhood friend Scott Wright. We have accomplished a lot together, and it is our passion to spread the good word of sport, togetherness, and competition. We are so excited that you decided to join us today for another webcast of Coaches Talk Coaching.
Cheers and welcome to Coaches Talk Coaching. My name is Scott Wright, and this is Jeff Garofalo, and this is going to be a great episode of Coaches Talk Coaching. Our next guest is the founder of Connecticut Rush and an owner at Northeast Rush, which is made up of New York and New England. Rush Soccer is the biggest club in the world, being in over 30 plus states and 30 plus countries. They boast over 40,000 members. He was a collegiate goalkeeper at the University of Connecticut and played professionally in the USISL. This man has so many accomplishments. I think we're going to have to invite him back for a second episode. But please help him. Please help us welcome our next guest, Coach John Salvatore. Woohoo!
Thanks for that. That was overwhelming.
Yeah, man, you have a ton of accomplishments. So I do hope that we get to invite you back for a second episode.
Thanks for that. You stick around long enough, things happen, right?
So John, first question here, man. Why did you bring Rush to Connecticut?
It's a great question. At the time, we were looking to bringing a new pathway to the state of Connecticut out of a club out of Fairfield County, out of Wilton, Connecticut. The board asked me to bring out a new premier path, and creating a mom and pop kind of new club looking at the landscape just really didn't make a lot of sense. So I remember looking for different opportunities around the state and seeing, maybe we should partner with somebody that's currently running Prem, and those options just didn't look good either. So I just recall when I was coaching at Yale that there was a club called Rush that had seemed to have multiple different locations, and that really kind of sparked my interest. So I reached out to the president of the club, and we had some lengthy conversations. And what really just resonated with me was their core values matched my core values, and what I was looking for in development, what I was looking for in developing players, both as players and as people, and then looking at their unique opportunity of just having an incredible network in opening up doors for our players. I just thought it was something nobody else in the New England, especially Connecticut, had. And bringing it here, I just felt like we could do so much more, and also imprint on it with our own DNA as well, because it allowed us an opportunity to customize the offering as well. So it really was just one of those moments where you're just like, this is exactly what we need for our greater communities. And it was one of the best decisions, I have ever made professionally.
That's awesome. I just know from what I've seen, I've just seen exponential growth. We wish that for you and for the future of Rush Soccer. You spoke on the core values, Rush's core values. I have them here as accountability, advice, empathy, enjoyment, humility, leadership, passion, respect, safety, tenacity, and unity. Could you mind speaking on those core values a little bit more?
Yeah, no, exactly. For a club to put it in writing and to deliver that on a daily was really important to me. And as I mentioned, many, if not all of those, really matched a lot of things that I was doing currently with programming. And I felt like, partnering with and being a part of an organization that was willing to put it in writing and to really press that home, both from, the top down and everybody involved, really was important. The one that stands out the most to me is humility. And that one really resonated well. And I'd even add one more, which would be integrity. And that's something that I feel is really important in when you're delivering programming for players and for parents and for the community at large.
Yeah, you can't buy integrity, can you? Um, but it's that's naturally developed, isn't it? Um, you sir are a man of integrity. Um,
Well, you work with people day in and day out, and you look at decisions, and I think it's really important that I think that's part of the things that people are drawn to those intangibles.
well, that's awesome, and I know one of the great things about Rush is that it's global at this level. So, do you think you could talk to us a bit about the international tours and what kind of opportunities are there?
Absolutely. Rush is just a this huge cohort of just great people that think alike and are in a lot of different communities, just not in our country, but also internationally. And that's been just incredible to be a part of and having friends across the world, right? And so watching the club grow and over the past uh, 4 years, really have seen a massive growth, and a big part of that has been because of Capelli. And
Mhm.
Capelli's been just an absolute, massive influence in our growth and in our partnership, led by George Altiers, who's just an incredible guy and a great visionary, and it really supports us just on our expansion, into other communities, both at a lot of different levels, both from a community sense and helping out communities in need, like in Haiti, like in Colombia, but also at a very high levels too, with clubs like Duisburg and other pro clubs across the globe. So it really just helps us just expand the opportunities to give kids experiences. I personally help out with Bravo Sports Tours and helping out Rush with a lot of the European opportunities, and just creating and managing high level events, whether they're friendly games against the top clubs like Juventus, Man City, Barcelona, or Porto or Benfica. You name these top academies in the world, and we have an opportunity to get in and play friendlies against them, play in tournaments which they're playing against. I recall, a couple distinct experiences. We were playing in a cup in Spain, and we were playing Man City with our 04 boys at the time. This was a few years back, and they played them to a 0-0 tie and lost in penalty kicks. They beat them. They're playing Barcelona next, and
Wow.
those are just really massive growth experiences for players where they're elbow to elbow with these iconic clubs, youth academies, where these kids are in there, selected among thousands to be there. And these kids have aspirations of being pros, as do many of our players. So to get those chances to do that at an early age, at a critical age, the 12, 13, 14, where kids are really kind of shaping their identity, to having these growth moments are really powerful, impactful, and really special. We had another one. We were playing every year. We go to Italy and we play in these Serie A cups, where there'll be 12 Serie A clubs playing in the event. We're watching them play each other. We're playing against them. We've played Roma. We've played Inter. We've played Fiorentina. We've played Juventus. We've beat them at times at the U12, U13 age groups, and that's been really impactful and powerful too, because the kids are just over the moon. And then they have this little extra. They know what it feels like. They know what the experience has been like to play in another country, to play against top level competition, and bringing that back home and sharing that with their players, and just having that little extra in their tank to kind of really get after it, to develop and push their game. It's been really awesome.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm sure that the people that are going to be listening are super excited. So how can just speaking, bringing things back less globally, more locally? How can people become a part of that?
Part of the Rush, part of
Like in Connecticut, yeah.
yeah, there we've got multiple locations and hubs where we're having different branches on different parts of the state. So yeah, reach out, connect with the director, ask to come out for an evaluation or something like that, and you'll find it being really warm and welcoming.
Awesome. Well, we'll be sure to attach links to this video people can comment and post to make sure that that if they are interested, and if I'm sure that they will be, that they'll be able to get connected. So that's all I have here. So we're on the Coach Jeff's fire question round. So here you are.
I've heard this is the tricky part of the interview, so I'm not so sure I want to go through this part.
We got to.
Oh, Jeff, be kind to me, please.
John, thanks so much for joining us today. It's an honor to work alongside you, and just so happy to be a part of the Rush family.
Well, I concur with that. That both of you guys are special guys, and you're really doing some amazing things and bright futures ahead of you. So the honor's all mine.
Awesome, thank you. All right, let's get right into it. John, you're in your car, you're listening to music, you're on your way home. Man, what's your favorite '90s jam?
90s were Blur, so I'm going to go right to the 80s because I'm an 80s guy. So, favorite bands in the 80s, Kravitz, U2, but favorite song, you probably won't know this one, but You're the Best Thing by Style Council. Paul Weller, lead singer. He's also part of the Jam and stuff like that. So I think that was way before you were born. So you'll have to Google that one.
I'm just going to I'll have to hop onto some YouTube today and get listening. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Coming back to soccer, John, what do you see being one of the most important characteristics for a soccer coach to be successful?
I think there are two components. I mentioned something a little bit earlier, integrity, right? And, there's, you've got to, as a professional, you're getting paid to do something. Being honest, being truthful with all the members that you work with. Yes, you're getting paid to be a professional, and that's your client. And, sometimes I've seen coaches glaze over the realities of what they should be sharing in that feedback. But just like in education, sometimes families don't necessarily, or parents don't necessarily like to hear some of the feedback, but if it's honest and it's truthful, it's really going to serve the player well to know what they need to do to improve or to work on their game or to push their game. I think that's really important. So have that integrity. I talked about it a little bit before, and give honest feedback, be encouraging, being positive, being a good role model are all really important things for a young coach. Also, education, right? Education, into groups that can help you just push your game, get your degrees, USSF, NSCA. There's a lot of great organizations offering great growth experiences for coaches, going abroad, working with different clubs abroad as well. And it's just, try to soak in as much as you can. And because the game is always evolving, and just being current with that is really important to the growth of any player. Any coach, I'm sorry.
That's great, John. I know one of the things I'm most excited about being a part of Rush is that you're surrounded by so many soccer people. And if you surround yourself with those great soccer people, you're going to talk soccer, you're going to learn soccer. So that's really exciting for us joining Rush.
People helping people, it's a powerful thing.
Absolutely. John, knowing you have an 8-year-old at home, I know you have to be familiar with superheroes. If you could choose any superhero, who would it be?
I like Tony Stark and Iron Man. He's just, he's kind of cool. He's edgy. He's funny. He's kind of cool. I really like him. And I don't know if I like the actor more than I do the character, but those recent movies have been really awesome. I really like Iron Man.
That's great. That's a great pick, John. Love it. Again, John, knowing that you're a big family man, you do have a couple kids. What's the competition like between you guys at home? If you're in a card game or backyard soccer, do you let them win?
That's an interesting one. There's been a lot of tears, not for me, but from the kids. I'm uber competitive, so rolling over to your kids and letting them win, I don't know if that serves them well in the long term, but there's been some tears. There's been some games that have ended abruptly because either that backyard soccer game or that game of spot it just doesn't go well. And so, when you're counting the cards up at the end, or Uno, and you're counting up the cards at the end, and you got some upset kids, you don't really play long. But it's a fine balance. But you really need to you need to just play. And the way it falls. There's no crying in Uno.
Competition drives competition.
That's yeah.
John, last question. Knowing and understanding you've been a part of the soccer landscape for a really long time, and also being an ex-collegiate player and being offered professional contracts, if there's any advice you could give to an aspiring soccer player, what would it be?
Great question. In my own personal journey, it was really fun. I had some wonderful coaches. I had some wonderful teams. That's critically important. Just feeling welcome in every environment that you're at, that you feel a part of, and you're participating in, is important. I would say, if you want to push your game and reach your maximum potential, just don't go to practice. That just should be baseline. You need to do the extra. What are you doing when nobody else is watching, when nobody else is looking? The great Mia Hamm, that's exactly what she would do. She would just get after it when the team wasn't together. And I remember doing a coaching course in Anson Dorrance, sharing that little tidbit about how we'd be driving into the office in the morning. He'd see Mia Hamm over at the training field, just doing sprints on her own by herself, and keeled over, puking, and just is like, that's a champion right there. That's someone who's going to reach their fullest potential, as she did. And I think all of us have that in us. It's the question of whether or not you're going to go after it. Are you going to just do the bare minimum, or are you going to go above and beyond? And I think that serves you well, whether you're in soccer or anything in life. Just going above and beyond, just doing the basics and the base programming. And I think opportunities really does happen for that. And I've watched kids from those 12, 13 age group, be in the middle of the pack, and then eventually making the youth national team, because they've been, really pushing themselves outside of just what the team's programming is. So I think that's important. And also finding new experiences too, getting abroad, that was a piece that I never did have as a player. And I went pretty far, and I was really happy with where I went to, but I felt like I had another level to go if I knew a little bit more, if I was exposed to a little bit more. And I think if I had a chance to compete on an international soil against other players around the world, I think that would have stretched my development, and I think that would have opened my mind a little bit more of some more what I could have done. But I would encourage that as well.
It's fantastic advice, John. I encourage all of our youth listeners to really take that to heart, because that was awesome. So thank you, John.
Yeah, most importantly, fun. Yeah. If it's not fun, then you're not going to do it. So make sure it's fun. If it ever starts becoming a chore, that's when you got to reevaluate. So parents, really keep an eye on burnout, making sure that they're engaged, it's fun, it's healthy. And also get involved with other sports too. I think it's really healthy that kids cross-train with other sports, and having a good balance and having a good childhood. I've seen a lot of families and a lot of players, a lot of really great players get burnt out too early because they're doing too much too soon. So, I really encourage players and parents, just kind of keep an eye on that and keep it in fresh, and remember that they're kids and they should be enjoying those childhood experiences across the board.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, John. It's an honor and a pleasure to share this time with you. We wish you and Rush Soccer so much success. I'm sure that higher levels are in your future. From all of us at Coaches Talk Coaching, thank you for watching. Please share this video with a friend. Love, subscribe, and follow to help keep us growing. And see you soon at the next episode of Coaches Talk Coaching.